Kita kena Isnin. Kalau dia cakap dulu lah. Aku pun kena beritahu kat sini ni kalau supaya sama. Dia boleh countdown. Ada countdown. Kalau hujan tu ada countdown kan. Jadi nampak juga lah sebenarnya tu. Okay.
Aku kurang soal ni pasal dengan live dengan suara tau. Itu masuk dalam. Matikan mic tak? Masih suara.
Assalamualaikum, you are tuning in live with IIUMTV's Political Insights, 40 Minutes of Political Knowledge. I'm Ashyraff and I will be your host for today's episode. Before we go further into our episode today, don't forget to follow IIUMTV on all of our social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and our latest handle on TikTok. So Alhamdulillah, we have finally reached the 8th season of Political Insights this semester, and this is officially my 4th season here. We have just gone past Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, everyone's back on the campus, and right now it's actually flu and coughing season, so I hope that everybody's staying healthy and drinking enough water, especially with the temperature right now. It's really hot. And considering the heat going around campus right now, I'm sure everybody is aware with what's going around, which is the IIUMSU elections, which brings me to today's topic, in which we will be discussing on IIUMSU elections 2023, empowering students in activism. And to help us unveil today's topic, we have invited two very special guests who are very familiar with the SU elections themselves. We have first Brother Ashyraff, who is the chairman of Parliament Commission in IIUM, and also Brother Zaim Mustaqim, who is from IIUMSU himself, under the office of students communication, advocacy, and promotion. Welcome both of you to the studio tonight. How are you guys feeling? Nervous? Prepared?
Nervous.
A bit nervous, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Excited to speak.
Excited.
Yeah.
Of course, we must be ready for what we're
Yep.
about to deliver, right? Okay. So relax. We're going to just walk through this nicely and don't have to be too tense and awkward, right? So how about we jump right into the topic?
Sure.
All right. So right off the bat, the first question goes to Brother Zaim. Right. So after 4 years of the establishment of the student union, many students are still unaware of what roles the student union plays and who the student union actually is. So can you maybe tell us what roles does the student union actually play in being the student union?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Aisha. Firstly, I would like to thank IIUMTV Political Insight for inviting me to speak on this topic. Let's continue with the discussion. To speak on behalf of IIM Student Union, our role is very wide, I would say, because we have been recognized as the highest student body in the university, and this put us with a lot of responsibilities throughout the campus. But as a student union, your responsibility is not only within confined in the campus only, but also to be influencing the community outside of the campus as well. So, but at the same time, IIM Student Union should and must continue and always uphold the student voices. That's the most important thing, and also to maintain the welfare of the students on the campus and also off the campus, or I would say the students of IIUM at large. So as IIUM Student Union has been well established, we have student union in IIUM Pago, Gombak, and also Kuantan as well. So students in every campus are well represented by their officers, deputy presidents, and also other officers in the IIM Student Union. So the role of IIM Student Union, I would say, is very wide, but still they are very generalized or specified office to handle on cater the issues students affairs, for example, like welfare. We have Office of Welfare, communication matters, which is my one of my responsibility lah. Office of Communication, Advocacy, and Promotion. We have other many other offices: Islamization, Student Development, Treasurer Office, education, academic matters is very important as a student. So this whole thing that affecting the students on the campus and also in the university will be represented by every officers in the office of IIM Student Union for us to as the highest student body of IIU of the highest student body in the university in IIUM. We are going to negotiate and also communicate with the university's management on the matter that needs urgent ad hoc decision and for the benefit of the students of IIUM. That's I would say our roles and importance of IIM Student Union for the students.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brother Zaim. So basically, what is it that the slogan that the IIUMSU use? By the students, for the students, is it?
It's
Or-
for the students
for
by
the
the
students, by the
students
students.
because
I'm
it's
so sorry, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the students,
by the
by the
students.
students, right? So that is thank you, Brother Zaim, having introduced the IIUMSU to us. Brings me to the Parliament Commission. Brother Ashyraff, it was established a few years ago, but students are still unaware of the establishment of the Parliament. That like the SU people are unaware, but then there's the Parliament as well. So like people are unaware also. So can you maybe like introduce us to the Parliament Commission and its functions?
Yep, sure. Assalamualaikum. My name is Ashyraff. First of all, thank you IMTV for inviting me. And actually, IIM Student Parliament Commission has been established long time ago, even before IMSU established in 2019, right?
True.
But before this, it was called ISLA, IIM Student Leaders Assembly. Yep. But then when IIMSU was established in 2019, IIM Parliament was ISLA have been changed the name to IIM Student Parliament, and IIM Student Parliament Commission has been set up. So there was a bit history of IIM Student Parliament. And the system of ISLA and IIM Student Parliament also have a bit different. I mean, many different also lah. And for the parliament, we have three types of sitting, which is we have IIM Student Central Parliament sitting. Central, which is all student leaders from Gombak, Pagoh, and Kuantan. And the second one is IIM Student Parliament Locality Gombak, Pagoh, combine Gombak and Pagoh. And the third one is Kuantan Locality. So we have three different types of sitting, and you also have three different types of standing order. Standing order, which is the law that need to abide during the parliament session. Okay, so the function of IIM Parliament and IIM Parliament Commission is different. IIM Parliament is, I mean, the parliament itself, where the student leaders or the fixed members of the parliament will be debate about the motions that have been approved in the parliament, any issues related question to IMSU. But IIM Student Parliament Commission is another thing, which is me lah and my commissioner, where we will conduct the sitting throughout our tenure lah. That's a bit about IIM Parliament Commission lah.
Right, so thank you so much, Brother Ashyraff, for introducing us to the Parliament Commission. So having introduced us to both the IIUMSU and the functions of the Parliament Commission as well, Brother Zaim, can you maybe tell us, like, students are aware of the different mediums like the clubs, KBS, clubs, MRCC, and the student union. So can you maybe like tell us the differences between those three and like in terms of function and job scope?
All right. Thank you, Aisha. That's very wide and huge differences between student union and also societies and clubs that we have in IIUM. Well, generally, in IIUM, we have a lot of clubs, student societies established under university. But there are differences between student union and also KBS, MRCC, student societies. Even the student societies in IIUM, we have different types of clubs. For example, community engagement clubs, facilitating student development and what more and whatnot. But student union itself is a very the highest student body, like I said just now. As a student, me myself, I in my final year, so I experienced being in different um, clubs and also organization, like I mentioned just now. I started my first year involved with the clubs, student development clubs. That is where I learn and develop myself, my interpersonal skills and also my soft skills. For me, to be in the my position right now, and also obviously for the future of my career and so on. So I would say the student union is the platform for the students to exercise the responsibility as the student leaders. But being involved with clubs in IIUM is a platform for you to start to be involved with activism, student activism, because there are many activities that is might make you interested to join the student activism, student lifestyle. Me myself, I interested in doing volunteering. That's how I started my student activism lifestyle in IIUM. I involved with, if you know about Wawasan Club, I was a part of Wawasan Club in my first year, and I started to feel the interesting of student activism, where we went to volunteering and whatnot. So the differences is that when you are in the university, you are about to develop your value, your soft skills, and your skills and whatnot to be a holistic student and also a holistic person. And this thing will you can feel, you can experience it only if you involve yourself with student activism. Now, the differences between the student union and also the club societies that we have in IIUM is that when you are well established, or not to say that I am well established, but if you are ready, then you can run for the student union, and you can whatever, not to say whatever, but once you have the problem, let's say, you know, how to solve the problem because you have the experience of conducting events, programs, and everything when you were in the clubs and societies that you joined earlier.
Right. Thank you so much, Brother Zaim, for maybe differentiating all those mediums, right? So before we move further into our discussion tonight, we will be taking a short break so you guys can go have a breather, have a cup of coffee, and we'll be right back with you guys.
Banyak kerja. Dia habis tak? Penat lah you. That's okay.
Welcome back to the studio. We are back with Political Insights. Previously, we were just introduced to the IIUMSU and the Parliament Commission. So now we are going to go further into our discussion and talk about the students' participation in IIUM. So the first question goes to Brother Zaim again. So many students nowadays are very disinterested, you would say, as soon as they hear the word politics, right? Especially considering the political situation right now in Malaysia. So everybody's kind of like allergic to the word politics, right? So this would inevitably include the word campus politics, right? So in this case, how would you encourage more students to be more involved in campus politics, and why is their participation important?
All right. Thank you, Aisha. Yeah, I agree with you. That politics is a something that might make people feel uncomfortable, not interested. But there's a misinterpretation or misconception of this politics. For me, politics is as simple as administration, because once you involve with politics, you are actually involving yourself with administration process. Um, well, we can see, for example, politics in Malaysia is about how the administrative of the nation of our country, our Malaysia, from politician becoming someone, the executive of our country. But in campus, it is just the matter of how you involve yourself with the administration process in the university. This thing actually is as simple as how you involve yourself to be a student, an active student, be involved with program, talks, positions in clubs and societies. That is actually a simple campus politics that people, the students, should understand. It's not about the politics that is always dirty. It's not about politics that always might make people afraid and whatnot. So for me, politics is as simple as that. I even myself, I involved with two elections. I run for twice. for I am student union election as well, and I involved with other election for clubs, and I think this is the interesting part of campus politics is that not becoming populist. That's maybe other people think about, but it's not about being populist, but it's about how you um be involved with the administration of the clubs and societies, and how you manage your friends and your members in the societies. So this is important for your life as a student, and for me the campus politics is fun. Of course, politics might have different interpretation by everyone, but for me, campus politics is fun if you think the same way like I think. um, that's the reason why I think students should be involved, because with the IMSU election, you need to be involved as we passed the nomination day, and now it's time for the students that is not a candidate to vote on the voting day, so that the candidate that the officers that run the student union will be held accountable whenever you voted for them. Um, when you voted for them, you can demand. I mean, it's your right to demand or to request anything from him or her. I guess it's him only. For the deputy president, it's him only. So exercise your right as a student, as a member of the union, to vote on this 25th May. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for Zaim. So basically, being involved in like participating in campus politics doesn't exactly mean that you have to have more than 1,000 followers on your Instagram, but it's about how you manage your and exercise your power, not power lah, maybe like your position within the organization of a club or a union, right? So speaking of student participation in campus politics, right? This question goes to you, Brother Ashraf.
Yep.
To what extent does the IIUM Parliament play a role in advocating for students to be participating in campus politics? Sorry, and how effective is the Parliament in doing this?
Thank you for the question. I would say that the parliament itself plays a big role in uh, uh, advocating students in campus politics, because in the parliament we have fixed members of parliament, which is the student leaders, which is consists of IMSU, president of Mahala, president of KBS, which is kuliah, IMAC, which is Ibnu Umi Maktoum Club, and then PGSS, Postgraduate Student Society. So the parliament itself plays a big role in advocating students to involve in campus politics, because uh, all the issues of students will be debated in the parliament as long as the motions have been accepted, because to debate any motion in parliament, you have to send the motion first. Motion is usul in Malay. You have to send the motion first, and then when the committee have approved the motion, and then you can debate in the parliament lah. So in the parliament itself, the student leaders will be debate about the parliament, and all the students also actually can see the sitting live in our YouTube, and apa ni, indirectly it will advocate the student lah, because the student can see which student leaders have the quality of speech, which student leaders
Actually voicing their
yep,
opinions.
voicing their opinions and everything like that. So students can analyze their student leaders, can evaluate their student leaders, and from that, indirectly it can advocate them to involve in campus politics lah. It's for me lah.
So, speaking of the Parliament Commission, right, Brother Ashraf, what kind of motion and issues do you want to see being debated in the Parliament? And, yeah.
As for me, there's no specific motion that I want to see, as long as the motion is student-centric motion, and yeah, that's all. Because what's the important is the discussion about the motion and the after parliament. I mean the how the motion gonna
Execution.
yep, the execution of the motion. That's way more important than what are the motion that I want to see. That's for me lah.
How
Yep.
This is a personal question of mine. How are emotions chosen and debated? Like, how do you choose a motion to be debated in the parliament? Or is that not your field?
Yep. The motion. Firstly, okay. Can I explain the parade of motion? Okay. Firstly, the motion that any student leaders want to brought in the parliament need to be submit to us, the Parliament Commission, and then we will filter the motion according to few things lah, according to the standing order, and any type of motion, welfare, academic, hostel, any type of motion, and I think that's lah.
Oh, so the motions are like issues that are being brought up by the students, right?
Yep. But need to be brought up by the student leaders lah.
Or brought up by the student leaders,
Yep,
meaning
into the
that
parliament.
if the students' leaders would have to be aware, like, and of
Yep.
the students of what they're complaining about and all those
Yep.
things, right? So I think we have room for a little bit more, just briefly, by Brother Zaim. So what channel can be used by the students to voice their opinions, and how does the union actually bring those complaints and opinions to the administration of IIUM? Just very briefly before we have another.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Aisha. As I speak on behalf of Office of Communication, Advocacy and Promotion of IIM Student Union, that in OCAP, IIMSU, we analyze every day, every seconds, everything that people mention to us in our social media, not only Twitter, Instagram, and also Facebook. And also we have Telegram that's just launch this tenure for us to have a very direct communication with the students, the members of the union, on any related student related matters or issues. Or students can also voice out their opinion, suggestion, criticism, anything directly to us through our social media. And also the officers of IIM Student Union is always open for any DM, direct message, or any private personal message. If they have their phone number, can just directly text them, or even they can come anytime to our office at Wadibudi, and that's it. As simple as that. We are open.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother Zaim, for sharing with us, and also Brother Ashyraff, right? So now that you know, right, it's just at the tip of your fingers. You can go through social media as well to voice out your complaints, and maybe it will be debated in the parliament seat. So before we proceed further into the final session of our discussion tonight, we will give you guys a bit of a breather, get you guys another drink to be refreshed for the next session. So we'll be back after the break.
Banyak kerja. Ni apa cakap? Penat lah you. That's okay.
welcome back. We are live with Political Insights here in the studio. So previously we discussed on the role of the IIUMSU and how motions are picked out to be debated in the parliament. So now we're going to move on to the third session of tonight's discussion, which is the exposure of campus politics in Malaysia. So starting off with Brother Zaim, knowledge about campus politics is seen to be something of a privilege here because not many people know about it, right? So with that being said, what are the sources? Like, how are students, where do they go? Where do they look for knowledge and sources of about campus politics, and whose job is it to educate them about it?
All right, Aisha. Before I'm going to answer the question just now, I'm going to answer a little bit about the previous question that you gave me before the commercial break. I'd like to highlight, other than the parliament, we also the student union also uh, involved in many decision making of the university. For example, we are the members of OSHB meeting. OSHB is Safety, Health and Built Environment of the university meeting. Together with the university's management, we able to present papers in the UMC meeting. UMC is University Management Committee meeting, and we have many other important meetings with the university's management where the students can the student union can directly communicate, and also sit together with the university's management, discuss the matter involving the students' affairs. To answer your question just now, where do students should go if they want to know about the campus politics in in campus? So I would say in IIUM, the campus politics is different with other university, because other university during the election they can run for political front, under political front, but in IIUM it's different. The latest election, candidates can run on their on as an individual, not like by front, and like other universities. So I would say, for the students to get to know about the campus politics in IIUM is by involving themselves with clubs and societies. Then you will be exposed to the campus politics in IIUM. We have many actually political fronts in IIUM, but for me, being involved with campus politics is not about you involved with political fronts only. It's about how you involve yourself with the political process, the administrative process of the campus. For example, like I said earlier, involve yourself with students, society, students clubs and other position, KBS, MRC, even the Parliament Commission or Election Commission. Then you will be exposed to the campus politics, because as long as you have the desire to be involved, active in the campus, then you will be exposed to the campus politics. And for me, we are waiting for that moment where every students are going to talk about campus politics among themselves. That's my dream, where every day students will be talking among their friends and discussing about the campus politics. Even this election period, I wish and I hope that students will be discussing among themselves who are they going to vote, and which candidate has the most powerful manifestos, I would say. So let's see how it goes.
Right. So thank you very much, Brother Zaim. I mean, speaking of, students talking within their circles, discussing about campus politics, right? I think I've been through that for the past couple of days. I've got like big group of friends, and the past few weeks they have been talking about campus politics, and that's all they ever talk about. It's kind of tiring, to be honest.
That's quite
but
early.
it's great, but it's great. Yeah, you feel aware and you're like participating, right? So next question is from Brother Ashyraff,
Yep.
right? So do you think that the establishment of the IIUM Parliament is vital to exercise democracy rights and empowerment of student activism in the university?
Thank you, Aisha. So yes, it is vital because in the parliament itself, there will be debated about and issues about the students and everything. And only in the parliament, central parliament, we could see all student leaders from Gombak, Kuantan and Pagu sit together and discuss about students' issue, what happened around IIM and everything. So from that, students could evaluate their student leaders, their president that they have vote for, is it worth it they vote for or not, and because uh, they could I mean like they can evaluate their student leaders during the parliament, and I mean if the student leaders is I mean not reach their
Ex-
Potential.
full potential or anything like so they can vote other student leaders and everything like that.
Right. So thank you, Brother Ashraf. So speaking of the IIUMSU, IIUM Parliament, correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Zaim, but from what we know, there's only like two student unions officially established here in universities, right? IIUMSU and the UMSU, right? So like, do you think that the establishment of the IIUMSU and the UMSU is enough in Malaysia? Like, do you think other universities should also establish their own student union or not?
All right. If to, to answer your question, Aisha, if I say that having two student union is enough, then Alif will call me right after this. Just kidding. Obviously it's not enough. To have just two student unions in Malaysia. We need to have a centralized student union in Malaysia, same like what we have for SRC or MPP. In Malaysia, we have MPPK on the central, on the national level, with the presidents from every MPP of the university seated on the MPPK council board. So this is important. Why a student union on the national level is important to be established, and also other universities to be established, is for us to have a clear path and also direction for the student union in Malaysia. For now, I would say that the student union path and also direction for UMSU and also IIMSU are different. We have many differences in terms of the administration, in terms of the businesses, operation and whatnot. So by having the centralized student union on the national level and many student unions in other universities, we can have our discussion together with other student union from other universities and decide just one direction for the student union in Malaysia. How actually we can operate, how can actually we help in pursuing students' right, upholding students' activism and whatnot in our country. So we with the mandate and also the trust given by the Minister of Mohe, we really wish and hope that the student union can be seen in other universities as well, not only IIUM and UM only, but also other universities, even the private universities as well. Because the idea of student union is fresh, quite new in Malaysia. We were established in 2019, and then this politicking happened, change of governments, and then suddenly the idea uh, lost. Then suddenly with the new government, they said they're interested in the student union. So let's see how it goes. But I wish and hope that we are going to have more and more alliances of student union in Malaysia.
Right, thank you, Brother Zaim. So basically, it's good that we have a student union in these universities, but it would be so much better if there were in all universities, right, and a centralized version of it, so that maybe we could fight for students not just in IIUM or in UM, but in all of Malaysia, right? Not just in the administration of one university, but all of Malaysia, right? So like seeing students' voices being empowered throughout Malaysia would be another level of our achievement, right? So we have reached the final question of tonight, which is probably Brother Ashraf can answer first.
Yep.
What is your hope for the election and future tenure of IIUM Student Union?
Thank you. I have the question. For now, I hope that every student will exercise their right to vote on 25th, right? 25th
25th
of
May.
May. And because they will choose, even though only Gombak for Gombak locality only, right? Even though for Gombak locality only, and because the student leaders are the one who will bring your voice in the parliament, because starting from my tenure currently, this is a bit information. Any issues that related to university that pass in the parliament will be submit directly to student affair committee, which is the highest committee in one of the highest committee at IIUM lah. So it is important to vote, choose wisely who you want to vote, and what's what's the question like?
The hope for this
Yep.
year's election.
Okay, future IMSU, right?
Yep.
Yep. I hope that the future IMSU tenure will can learn from the past tenure, even from the first tenure of IMSU establishment, and improve in many ways lah. Because there will always room for improvement, and I hope can be much better lah.
Maybe you'd like to add on a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, my wish and my hope is that always for the students by the students, and I wish that IIM Student Union can excel more, way further than us, the previous lineups of the IIM Student Union. And one, I would like to convey my hope to the candidates as well that whenever I always remind my team and also my colleagues on these words, these kind words by Numan Alihan. Whenever you find yourself in a position that you can help person, anyone, be happy because Allah is answering that person's prayers through you. That's my remind to every candidates because they decided to run, and the decision came with great responsibility. So all the best and good luck, and I wish the student union, the IIM student union, to be great and excel in the future.
All right, thank you so much, Brother Zaim, and also Brother Ashyraff, for helping us discuss this very important topic, for tonight, especially with the IIUMSU elections coming up and all. So hopefully everyone can exercise their rights properly. Don't just look at who has the most followers on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, right? Use this time to properly know your leaders and make sure you make an informed decision, right? So thank you so much for tuning in to Political Insights tonight. I am Aisha Azarisman. Oh, before I forget, don't forget to follow IIUMTV on all of our social media platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and our latest handle on TikTok. I am Aisha Azarisman, your host for tonight's episode, and I will see you next time.